think one of our greatest competitive advantages is our diversity. We will always be challenged with the fact that we're a low population density, high energy use country. We're going to always have those challenges on a per capita emissions basis. However, if you look at our diversity, when one part of the economy, which is often linked to a particular province, is suffering, another one is thriving. And so that balance is really important for our strength. Even in our energy sector, we are one of the most diverse generation sources of energy. So people don't have nuclear, hydro, gas and all those other things. So that is a strength for us. But we have to recognize that we need to really work together. And I think that's a core message. When we are trying to compete globally for financing, attract attention for our innovative companies, we have got to have that working together. Canada competes, not just one province. Another area that I think is important is to tie innovation to competitiveness. Because if we don't continue to innovate, our traditional businesses will become disintermediated. We need to be able to deal with the fact that we've got highly skilled labor, high costs of that labor, and they have to compete in markets where that is not the case. If you look at some of the traditional industries, if they don't innovate, they're going to go away. So this diversification and linking innovation to our diversity will make us far more competitive. We will have to see continued effort around sustainability, and for the oil and gas industry, when you've got a high cost extraction methodology like oil sands, although there's been significant improvement in reducing those costs, we need to continue to do that. Examples around sustainability would be using solvent extraction with a company called Ensolve. It removes the use of water, which we know is one of the main costs for oil sands, and that is a great way of reducing costs, reducing environmental impact, more sustainable and also more profitable. Likewise, you could add value by taking waste streams, such as you can for the wastewater ponds, and extracting precious metals through a company called Titanium that adds more profit, but also makes the ponds more amenable to then putting back into a natural state. So continued effort, keeping an eye on the ball is what we need to improve sustainability. The other piece of sustainability is all about culture, and we tend not to talk about that. So First Nations are people that really have understood our context and environment for a long time. There's lots we could learn from them and to involve them in sort of the innovation and entrepreneurial side of things. Because if society is not with us, then it isn't going to work in the long term. There's a constant overemphasis on research and development. It is about research and development, demonstration, deployment, diffusion. If you like, it's like I call RD3 or RD4. Because we've heard so many times that young companies don't scale up, don't get to be big, internationally recognized companies, and that's where we fail. So if you look at the energy play, these are not ICT, light hold, light capex, quick to market, early exit type companies. They require significant capital to scale up. And right now our Canadian companies are being forced to seek investment when they should really just be getting financing for project finance, but project finance won't take any scale up risk. So it's a real conundrum, but if we had, say, 10 clean tech companies from Canada that were recognized in the energy sector, we would start to see the money piling in because we would attract that. So it is focusing on the real winners that's critically important. We also have a need as a challenge around what I call the David and Goliath syndrome. Little SMEs are often the source of innovation. It's the multinationals that are the takers of that innovation, and naturally the conversation is difficult. I mean, if you've ever seen a little company trying to do an operational test in the field, when the guys are actually paid to deliver the product rather than trying to test something out, it's a clash of cultures and opportunities. So that's a really big barrier as well. And for disruptive, has to be a change in mindset. I mean, we are going to see industries go out of business unless they learn to innovate faster and accept more risk. I think another key area that we tend not to have when we're chatting as an energy sector is where's the money? We need to attract financing from all over the world. And if you look at it, TSX is the largest lister of mining companies globally. So people know how to put their money into that. It's repeatable, but it also has risks. In a way, climate change has helped show those risks. So we need to be able to offer really globally competitive companies where investors will go, Canada is the place I want to put my money because I know it's going to work. And that diversity of people, diversity of skills, diversity of opportunity, all pulled together with attracting global capital is a critical component to our competitiveness in Canada. Canadian economy in 2050, I don't know exactly how to predict this because it's going to go through, I think, a tipping point, and it's either going to revolutionize, I think we're past evolution, or it's going to decline. So Canada's value right now is built around being a commodity-based economy. We need to move up the value chain. So we need to produce products and services that will derive greater income and employ more highly skilled people. We'd have to have the education system that goes with that. On the oil and gas side, that could be a very different product model, and I think you're seeing some of that understood now as the companies want to mitigate their risk. On the power sector side, we're seeing a complete transformation. So the regulation is not encouraging innovation. People don't want to pay for centralized systems that have not been maintained, the transmission systems, etc. So you're seeing distributed energy. That means that the consumer wants to control more of what they want to reduce their costs, and so we may actually see a complete disaggregation and fragmentation in the power sector, and it will look very, very different, highly reliant on communication technologies and controls and sensors. And artificial intelligence, an area where Canada does have strength, could actually integrate into these areas, into the energy sector, and make the quality of the service and the product far better. And eventually, we'll be able to have residential systems that are completely off the grid, even if you're in an urban environment. So it could be radically different, which is very exciting, but requires a lot of effort and pulling together.